Sales calls. I'm curious, what emotions come up in your body when you hear that word? Do you feel anxious, dread, icky, sleazy? Or do you feel determined, excited, and curious? If you would say the former, I'm with you. I used to dread sales calls. In 2018, when I first started them in my business, I remember I would dread them for the whole day. The start of the sales call, I would just survive as I was asking questions about that person. But then as soon as it was time to pitch, I would stutter, I would stumble, and I'd freeze. Now I do multiple sales calls every week, from private coaching to corporate workshops where I sell my services for thousands of dollars per hour. I've done hundreds of sales calls over the last 7 years. So I want to create this video today to help you nail your sales calls with confidence. The first step to get confidence with your sales calls, mindset. I know you've heard this before. I know this is cliche, but mindset is the foundation for you to be able to master anything that you do. And our mindset is the difference for sales calls that we feel jittery and nervous and we stumble versus sales calls where we feel calm and we feel clear and grounded. Because the former, the mindset is, oh my gosh, I need this sale. I need this to be able to pay my bills next month. But you need to shift that thought process. You need to shift that state of being into, I can take this or leave this. There's nothing to lose. So what am I putting pressure on myself for? You need to remind yourself that if you don't get this sale, you'll be in the exact same position as before. So there is actually nothing to lose. Pretend that you have another 5 sales calls this week, and then next week, and then the week after, and then the week after. So even if you don't get this sale, you don't need it. You have many others in the queue for your services. Not only that, you need to shift your mindset around money. Instead of thinking, oh my gosh, I'm asking for money, this is so sleazy. What you need to do is you need to remember that you're not taking money from them. It's the opposite. You are offering them something irresistible that they need. You are offering them value. And the process of a sales call is purely about curiosity. You want to understand more about them, what they need, and in response to what it is that they need, you can offer your solution to their problem. You can offer them light at the end of the tunnel. And then ultimately, it's up to them whether or not they go to that light. You don't have to force anything. You are simply making that offer. So that takes the pressure off from yourself to think that you are being manipulative and you are forcing someone. No, you are giving them offer for help, something that they need, which is why they reached out to you in the first place. Mindset work is qualitative rather than quantitative, right? It's invisible. You don't get to see the tangible changes. But I encourage you to put effort into trying how it feels when you shift that perspective. So if you were to put even just 5 minutes a day for the next 30 days to shift that mindset, to repeat these new beliefs and philosophies in your head rather than sticking to the old ones, you will shift how your nervous system feels going into the next sales call. And I also acknowledge that mindset is just the first step. You can have the most confident mindset in the world, but if you don't have the skills and if you don't know the structure for effective sales, you will not be able to close that $4,000 deal. All sales calls that are effective follow a formula. And I want to share with you my 7-step formula that have closed me almost $1 million in revenue in my business. Now, unfortunately, I don't have time in this video to go through the full 7 steps with the full formula, scripts, transitions, and questions to ask in your sales calls. However, if you do want that detailed breakdown, I can tell you where to get it. You'll get the full breakdown of these 7 steps in my Voice for Impact video training. In there, you'll get the formula for how you can open up a sales call in a way that makes your prospect feel safe and connected, how to ask discovery questions without feeling robotic, how to present your offer with confidence, how to handle objections without sounding defensive, and how to close the deal in a way that feels natural for you and your prospect. The best part about this course is that it is comprehensive. You'll learn this sales script, whether you're on the phone, on Zoom, or even if you want to sell from the stage. These videos are comprehensive and step by step so that you don't get overwhelmed, you don't get confused. All you have to do is to follow the steps, apply these techniques, and immediately you will hear the difference in your voice when you are selling. And to make this even better, I've currently got a special exclusive offer just for you for being here on YouTube. If you click the link in the description below, you'll be able to grab this course at a very special offer that is is not available anywhere else for anyone else. But for now, let me share with you the 7-step process at a high level so that you can get an understanding of how it works. The first step of any sales call is rapport building. It's the first 30 seconds where you pick up the phone or you hop onto Zoom and you ask them about their day, about their weekend, so that you can ease them into the conversation. In this section is where you'll explain the expectations from this call, including that purchasing is a non-obligation. And that way, your prospects can put down their walls, they can feel safe and trust you for the remainder of the call. The second step is you have to dig into their current problem. What are their struggles? What are their challenges? And when you understand what their current situation is, you can illuminate, well, of course, they want to get out of that situation, which then leads into step number 3, which is their goals. So ask them, what is their ideal outcome? What is it that they want to achieve? And create that contrast between where they are now and where they want to be. And that leads into step number 4, which is the bridge of getting from here to here. This bridge is what they need to get to their goals. And they've probably tried it in the past, but it hasn't worked. So how can you help them in the way that they've never been able to have that support before? Step number 5 is where you then share your unique method. Note that this is your unique method. It is not your offer. It's not the inclusions of your offer. It is how you, as a person, does things differently. What sets you apart from every other person offering the same thing? Which then leads into step number 6, which is where you say, hey, I understand where you're at and where you want to be, and I can offer you what I think is the best option for you. And this is where you share your offer. The inclusions, how each inclusion is linked to a specific goal or benefit for that person. You make it a glove on hand fit, that you have the exact solution that they have been looking for and that they need. At the end of step 6, after you've explained your offer, is when you share the price. And that will then go in one or two directions. They will either be like, yep, fabulous, I'm on board, or they will have objections or questions. And that leads into step number 7, where you need to manage and handle their questions, objections, or hesitations with grace. You need to do it in a way that is not defensive and instead makes them feel safe, supported, and heard. Like, no one wants to feel pressured into buying. No one wants to feel like they are just another number and they are a massive paycheck. People want to feel understood, and that is the most important step at this stage. And that, my friends, are the 7 steps to an effective sales call. It's the process that I have used in my entire business journey since 2018. It's the process I've taught to my clients. I've helped them close multiple 5-figure sales. And what I love about this process is that, did you notice that steps 1 to 4 wasn't even selling, wasn't even pitching? Steps 1, 2, 3, 4 were all about curiosity and understanding the other person. Because after step 4, if the other person's needs don't fit with what it is that you offer, then you don't even need to sell to them. You only sell if your offer is the right fit for what it is that they need. And step 5 isn't selling either. You are simply sharing how you do things and your unique philosophies and methods, which leaves steps 6 and 7, the last 2 steps, which are selling. So a sales call isn't even sales. It is simply a conversation between 2 people where you gain understanding of their needs. And understanding that takes away the pressure. It takes away the rigidness and the roboticness that you have when you feel that pressure you need to sell. Now, in my course, as I mentioned before, I have the full script for these 7 steps. At the very start, I want to be transparent that I stuck to that script 100%. I said it word for word. And that worked because I was able to develop the confidence and the process that is tried and tested. However, now I'm at the point where I don't need to memorize this script anymore. I go off it about 75%, and the rest of that sales call becomes off script, where I use my experience and my genuine curiosity to follow through questions and to ask what I want to know to help me understand more about that person. Because the reality is, every person is different. Every prospect is different. Some of them will barely give you any answers. Some of them, you ask them one question and they'll talk for 40 minutes. So I really believe in this script and formula because it gives you a solid base to start from. And then once you've got that, you can learn from experience and develop your own natural style on top of that. Like, I'm not saying that this is the best sales script in the world, but I know it works. So it's the same as you starting karate. There is a process for karate, how you kick, how you punch. You learn that. And then through your experience, once you become a black belt, you might then add your own flair and your own style to the core foundations. The last thing I want to mention is that steps 1 to 4 should take up 70% of the call. So most of the call is about getting to know the other person. It is not selling, because by the end of step 4, the other person will already have made up their minds whether or not they're going to buy before you've even pitched, because there is so much going on in the psychology of sales that happens before they find out about the price or about the offer. So the way that you get good at sales is you focus on the person. Don't get caught up in your head about the price, about your offer, about the inclusions, about closing that deal. A sales call is about curiosity. You hop on that call. You want to get to know the person. You want to get to know what their needs are, what their challenges are. And from there is when you make the decision whether or not you can help them. And if you can, fantastic. Show them the way. Show them the light. Give them that offer with conviction, because you are literally giving them an option for them to change their life. You are giving them the opportunity to level up and to improve their life because they need it. Curiosity and wanting the best for the other person is how you get good at selling. My friends, if you want to get really good at sales because you are sick of stumbling and stuttering, if you are sick of getting no's instead of yeses, then I encourage you to find out more in the Voice for Impact video training. In that course is where you'll get the exact script and formula for your sales, from private sales to selling from a stage, to how to articulate clearly, reduce filler words, to showcase confidence through your body language. Not to mention, you'll also learn how to improvise on the spot, especially when you get asked those hard-hitting questions. Click the link in the description below to grab the course for an exclusive special offer that is only available to you for being here on YouTube. Thank you for watching to the end of another video. I hope that this has been helpful for you, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.